Taylor! Taylor! Kelce!
On Friday, October 17th, Travis Kelce and his girlfriend Taylor Swift officially closed on their $7 million estate in Pennsylvania, a milestone that drew immediate attention, not only for its price tag but for its location. The couple had chosen to move directly next door to Travis's brother and sister-in-law, Jason and Kylie Kelce, a decision that instantly set off a wave of fascination about proximity, family, and intention. Witnesses who saw the pair arrive at their new home described the scene as quietly radiant. Taylor, ever attuned to ambiance, had already begun to infuse the space with her trademark sense of calm sophistication. Soft light spilling through tall windows, the faint hum of domestic peace settling in. Travis, grounded in his familiar Midwestern ease, wore a plaid flannel layered over a beige pullover, dark denim, and white sneakers. Taylor complemented his relaxed style with a pleated skirt and understated grace, the two walking hand in hand toward the grand Tudor Revival entrance that would soon become their shared sanctuary. The estate itself is a study in architectural restraint and charm. Steep gables, ivy-clad stone, and the kind of symmetry that whispers permanence. It wasn't just a housewarming. It was a quiet declaration. A new chapter, written not in headlines but in brick, light, and laughter. It is a masterful fusion of modern comfort and the timeless grace of British architecture. The estate, stretching over 930 square meters, blends tradition with understated grandeur. Red brick chimneys rising elegantly above curved windows, walls crafted from natural stone, and a roof of muted gray tile that anchors the home in quiet dignity. Surrounding the house are serene grounds that seem designed for escape. A tranquil man-made lake glimmers nearby, bordered by an expansive garden shaded by century-old trees, a sanctuary carved away from the noise of city life. Every corner whispers calm, the kind that feels earned. Inside, the estate opens into 7 spacious bedrooms and 10 lavish bathrooms, each styled with soft, natural palettes. There's a private movie theater, a compact yet state-of-the-art recording studio, and a fully equipped fitness center, all seamlessly integrated to balance indulgence with purpose. The chef's kitchen stands at the heart of it all, finished with golden marble countertops and rich walnut cabinetry. Interior photos reveal a space that feels both cinematic and lived in. The kitchen, in particular, is said to be where Taylor plans to spend long evenings experimenting with new recipes for Travis, a domestic ritual that feels intimate and grounding amid the couple's whirlwind lives. One of Taylor's closest friends confided that she sees cooking not as a chore, but as her way of creating home, an act of love, simple yet profound. One of Taylor's close friends revealed that she had a very specific vision in mind when choosing the property. She longed for a home filled with natural light, the comforting scent of freshly baked goods drifting through the mornings, and a backyard wide enough for Travis to perfect his grilling skills. This Pennsylvania estate offered all of that, and more. But their decision to put down roots here wasn't just about amenities or design. Pennsylvania holds deep meaning for Travis. It's where he and his brother Jason grew up, where their earliest memories were made, and where the foundation of their family still stands strong. Choosing to marry and build their life here felt less like a move and more like a homecoming. According to a close friend, Travis wanted Taylor to experience everything he cherishes about his home state, the warmth of its people, the sense of community, and the quiet steadiness that defines its rhythm. In his words, Pennsylvania isn't just where his story began. It's where he wants their shared story to grow. Their new homes are so close, it's expected that family gatherings will become an effortless and regular part of their lives. Neighbors in the quiet Pennsylvania community have already begun to note the sense of warmth surrounding the couple's arrival, a blend of small-town familiarity and modern celebrity charm. For Taylor, the proximity to both her own roots and Travis's family represents something deeply grounding. Friends say she finds comfort in knowing that the place where her story began will also be the backdrop for this next chapter of her life. The couple's decision to settle near Jason, and Kylie suggests a desire for closeness, not only to family, but to a way of living that values connection over spectacle. It's a rare moment of alignment for two people whose worlds have often revolved around fame and fast-paced schedules. Here, in Pennsylvania's rolling landscapes, They've created a space that feels intentional, rooted, and quietly profound. A home where legacy and love are meant to grow side by side. Humorous. Escorted by minimal security and only a few assistants. There were no flashing cameras or red carpets, just a quiet afternoon that felt intentionally private. Witnesses said the couple appeared relaxed and unhurried, stopping briefly to greet a few curious neighbors before heading inside. The understated move-in stood in stark contrast to their usual media frenzy, signaling a shift towards something more grounded. For Taylor, whose every move often dominates headlines, this simplicity was refreshing. For Travis, it was symbolic, a statement that his life with Taylor is about authenticity, not spectacle. Local residents described the atmosphere as almost cinematic, a superstar and an NFL champion blending seamlessly into the quiet rhythm of Pennsylvania suburbia. As one neighbor put it, it's like watching fame slow down. Would you like me to continue with a section describing the first weekend after moving in, like how they spent their first days settling, visits from Kylie and Jason, and how the community reacted? They arrived with only a few personal belongings and a bright bouquet of sunflowers, a quiet symbol of hope and beginnings. The flowers stood out vividly against the gray autumn air, their colors mirroring the warmth between them. There were no extravagant celebrations, no hired photographers to immortalize the moment, just simplicity and sincerity. It was the kind of arrival that spoke louder than any red carpet entrance, grounded and deeply human. One witness said Taylor stepped out of the car with a wide, genuine smile that could melt the October chill. Her happiness wasn't performative, it was radiance from within, the kind that lights a space even before words do. She held Travis's hand the entire time as they wandered through the garden, laughing softly and snapping a few photos together. Every touch between them felt unspokenly tender, a language of its own, built on trust and quiet certainty. When they reached the grand doorway, Taylor paused and together they turned the key, opening the house as if unlocking a shared destiny. The sound of that door creaking open felt almost ceremonial, like a curtain rising on a new act of their lives. Inside, Travis guided her through each room with childlike pride, from the rustic stone fireplace to the office overlooking the garden. He pointed things out eagerly, not as a tour guide, but as a man revealing the future he wanted to build. Taylor's eyes lit up when she discovered the small attic, tucked away and filled with soft light. She imagined it instantly as her secret retreat, a place for words, melodies, and the golden silence before inspiration strikes. Later, they settled on the front porch with steaming mugs of coffee, watching the late afternoon sun dip across the manicured lawn. The air smelled of damp earth and fading leaves, the kind of scent that makes time feel suspended. Taylor rested her head on Travis's shoulder, and in that quiet moment, words became unnecessary. It was love stripped of spectacle, just two people, a porch and a world they'd begun to build from peace. Not performance, he grinned quietly. This occurred right after the official process of transferring ownership had been completed, a symbolic conclusion to the paperwork and the true beginning of something far deeper. It was in that silence, beneath the soft hum of a late afternoon breeze, that both Taylor and Travis seemed to realize they weren't just moving into a house, they were stepping into a chapter they'd both dreamed about. It's likely that in that moment, both were painting mental pictures of the life they'd build together. The dinners, the laughter, the quiet mornings, and the echoes of songs yet to be written. The vision of a shared future was no longer distant. It was right there, taking root in the soil of Pennsylvania. Many onlookers believe that the acquisition of this mansion marks a pivotal step toward the couple's much-anticipated wedding. For them, this wasn't just real estate, it was rehearsal for permanence. A source close to Travis shared that the couple had long desired a sanctuary, somewhere far from the flashing cameras, a home that could be their peace house, a place not for performance, but for peace. Taylor plans to transform the interior into something deeply personal, blending warmth with sentimentality, framed family photographs, a gleaming grand piano by the window, and shelves lined with her beloved antique books. Each element would carry a story, a memory, a trace of her heart. Travis, on the other hand, has his sights on the backyard, a place for connection, laughter, and family. He's already planning small barbecues with Jason and Kylie, complete with a tent and a massive screen to watch NFL games all season long. It's these little touches, the everyday rituals, that make the idea of this house so meaningful. It's not about grandeur, it's about grounding. Donna Kelce, the proud matriarch, is reportedly overjoyed by the arrangement, her sons living just blocks apart, and Taylor fully embracing the family's rhythm. She expressed how surreal it feels to see her children thriving while still maintaining the same closeness they had in their youth. According to a family member, Donna has come to see Taylor not as a celebrity, but as a daughter, a sentiment that runs deep in the Kelce household. On the day of the move, Donna presented Taylor and Travis with an emotional gift, a hand-drawn portrait of their new home, beneath which she'd written the words, "Home is where love develops." The gesture reportedly brought Taylor to tears, a reminder that love, real love, isn't in the spotlight, but in the quiet spaces between. As the news spread through the neighborhood, fans and locals alike couldn't contain their excitement. Some shed tears of pure joy, witnessing a rare story in celebrity culture, one that felt not manufactured but marvelously, miraculously human, to well up in her eyes. The emotion wasn't just about the house, it was about everything it represented: peace, permanence, and the feeling of belonging. For Taylor, this wasn't merely a new chapter. It was the fulfillment of something she'd quietly wished for all along. News quickly spread across social media, sending fans into a joyful frenzy. Hashtags like #Swift Kelce Home and Pennsylvania Love Nest began trending within hours, filling timelines with photos, edits, and heartfelt messages. Supporters from around the world celebrated the idea of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce planting roots in Pennsylvania, the state where her own story first began. One local resident admitted that, at first, there was a bit of disbelief. The thought of global superstars moving into their small, peaceful neighborhood seemed surreal. But that skepticism quickly gave way to pride. "They're just kind," one neighbor said, describing how down-to-earth both Taylor and Travis had been since arriving. "You forget for a moment who they are. They make you feel like you've known them forever." That sentiment has been echoed by countless fans who see the move not as a celebrity stunt, but as something sincere. "Pennsylvania is where Taylor's story began," one admirer wrote online, "and now it's where her love story with Travis continues to grow." The symbolism hasn't been lost on anyone. From the rolling fields that inspired her early lyrics to the quiet nights that now frame her future, everything seems to have come full circle. While the $7 million price tag might suggest luxury and grandeur, those close to the couple insist that the meaning behind the purchase runs much deeper. For them, this estate isn't about status, it's about serenity.